So I'm here with Rob, great friend, and we had a wonderful breakfast this morning. I'm gonna ask him a quick question about what stuck out to him the most from the breakfast, specifically what we were speaking about.
How easily in our everyday lives we can get so overcome with just life and circumstances and the trials of life, and how often we can forget the nature of our human heart, and how if we really take our eyes off Jesus, just how frustrated, overwhelmed, discouraged we can be. But if we take a moment in that secret place, fix our gaze, posture our heart on the lover of our souls, how much it can just make all those other things so insignificant, bring correction in our own lives, which we all need, sobriety to our mind, to our heart, and to our spirit. Not looking at other things, not looking at other people, not looking at other ministries, putting all that stuff aside and just looking at our own life, facing those realities that the Lord reveals to us, and immediately just bringing correction and just realizing how much we need Him, how much we have to depend on Him, how quickly our human minds and thoughts can just go astray. Bringing that all back down to the one thing and one thing only that matters, and that's Jesus. Hi, man. Love you.
Bernard Clairvaux, one of my favorites. Let's look at something that he says here. The same Jesus who is physician of the soul is also its spouse. He takes away all the bitterness that the soul found in itself and fills it with His sweetness. After healing the soul, He gives Himself to it completely, raising it above apathy, weakness, and speaking to it of Himself. Listening to Him, man. The soul must realize that this is not its own voice, nor are these its own thoughts. They are words of the bridegroom, the words of the Word Himself. I cannot stop thinking about Jacob today, and how after God touched him, he had to lean upon a staff, which shows me that this is what the touch of God produces, a dependency for every movement. I see that his leaning upon the staff for his every move is pointing to dependence on God moment by moment. And all of this is because of his direct contact with God. I did a video on this before. I'll put the link in the description. But it's fresh on my mind today. This is what we need the most, is to be touched by God, to learn how to live a life that is leaning, dependent upon Him, moment by moment. Something that I feel really strongly in my heart that God has been saying to me is out of James chapter 3, talking about two things: selfish ambition and bitter jealousy. Is it bitter jealousy? It's bitter jealousy. Yes, bitter jealousy, selfish ambition. These two things are, as James calls them, natural, earthly, and demonic. In other words, it's very natural to human beings to slip into or to be bitterly jealous. What is bitterly jealous? Well, this jealousy that turns into bitterness. Now, Paul tells us, don't let a root of bitterness even start inside of you. But it's very natural for this to happen inside of man. Also, selfish ambition is very natural. It's inside of human nature to want to have a ambition that is selfish. So as I looked into what he was talking about when he said bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, it seems like he's pointing to these things. One, wanting to be distinctly recognized as a person of significance. This is what selfish ambition would look like. Wanting, desiring on the inside to be distinctly recognized as a person of significance. And the second thing is envy of someone's advantages or achievements. These things are very natural to us, but they're from below, they're earthly. And lastly, they're demonic. So it starts here. He's showing you that bitter jealousy, selfish ambition, envying someone's advantages or achievements, wanting to be distinctly recognized as a person of significance. These things are very natural to man, but they're from below, which means they're demonic. So this is a wisdom, it's called a wisdom that does not come from above. It is a wisdom that is not like God. But the wisdom that is from God, that comes down from above, is pure, which means there's no mixture. It's peaceable, meaning it brings and makes peace. It's gentle, it's not harsh, it's full of mercy, forgives all. It is full of good fruits, it's unwavering, it's not fickle, it's not with hypocrisy. It doesn't present things one way when they're not really that way. Anyways, all these things to say, I really feel from the Lord like God is cleaning out his bride in the heart, the motives, the intentions. We need to let these things die by simply coming to him and fixing our gaze upon him and enjoying him. Then he can come in deeply and uproot those things that we couldn't even see without his presence. His presence has a way of showing us things that we could not see apart from his presence. We need his presence because in it is the factory of God. This is how God works inside of us. Anyways, these are the things that's been on my mind recently.
I just came here to just, talk with a friend, but I'm leaving feeling encouraged. And it was like Eric was saying, he's like, what would Jesus be doing right now if you were sitting here across the table from Jesus? He would just be so engaged. He would just long to hear what you have to say. And you would just feel so just joy, no guilt, no shame, condemnation. You're just sitting here, somebody that's actually giving you their attention, giving you their love, giving you their time and appreciation. And I mean, that for me, I think it's something that we need to do better as friends, as husbands, as fathers, is just put away the distractions, that give our time, attention, focus, obviously to Jesus, but also to our friends and our family around us.